Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 180 of The Rewind, a podcast dedicated to keeping its listeners on the cutting edge of the MMORPG Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. First and foremost, Draq and I always want to take a moment to thank you for listening to today's show and spending your time with us live on Saturday at noon Eastern on YouTube or on your own time through video on demand and the many podcast apps you can stream us on. This is a labor of love for all of you, and we can't thank you enough for enjoying what we do here. If you are able to support us further and would like the inside scoop on upcoming episodes or participating in our top 5 segment, please consider joining our Patreon or becoming a member on YouTube. There is a link in the description below. If not, we can always use your help by clicking the like and subscribe buttons or leaving a review to help us move along the algorithm. We need your help finding new listeners, and your thumbs up makes that happen. Lastly, today's episode is an exciting one as Pantheon moves into Unity 6. If you are playing on Early Access now, we urge you to be as patient and flexible as possible once this patch hits. There will be some initial bugs to squish, but in the long run, it will be great. If Joppa is pumped about this upgrade, we all should be too. An energized team could mean great things for 2025. Now, on with the show.
All right, everybody. Now's the time when we're going to do the drawing of the free Pantheon Rise of the Fallen game on Steam. Now, just to refresh everybody's memory, last week we put the call out to give us a review for the Rewind podcast. We needed you to go online, give a review, then send me a screenshot. So a bunch of you took advantage of that across lots of different podcasting platforms. We really, really appreciate that. The podcast is taking off, and we're getting hundreds of listens. So really appreciate that. Loving it. Loving the energy from the community. Thank you so much. Dymlos, really appreciate the feedback. And so here we go. We're going to give away this podcast. I'm going to spin, and whatever name comes up, we're going to go with it. And you can friend me. Again, you have to friend me on Steam. So just reach out to me on the Discord like you did before, and we'll make it happen. Here we go. Spin to win, baby. All right, D Nut Muji, congratulations on winning. Congratulations. And I'll connect with you and we'll get you your copy of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Have a great one.
Under a swirling twilight sky, 6 intrepid adventurers gathered at the ancient Forge of Fates to upgrade their weapons before facing an ominous threat. Archbishop, the stalwart dwarf paladin, led the party with unwavering resolve. Ziplox, the cunning Darkmere rogue, entrusted his shadow blade to the Forge's alchemy, seeking an infusion of spectral energy to sharpen its lethal edge. Annoying Llama, the discipled human monk, channeled inner ki into his gauntlets, transforming them into conduits of raw power. Screech, the vibrant Scar Bard, melded his enchanted rapier with mystical harmonies so that every strike would resonate with magical might. Anton Dubiditis, the wise Darkmere Shaman Glyphkeeper, inscribed ancient runes onto his ancestral staff, summoning elemental forces to empower his blows. Churro Dude, the inventive gnome summoner, fused his diminutive wand with celestial spark, endowing it with the power to call forth radiant allies. The Forge pulsed with arcane energy as each weapon absorbed its destined enhancements, their edges gleaming with renewed brilliance. United by purpose and bolstered by newfound might, the companions stepped into the encroaching darkness. Their hearts burned with determination and hope, ready to carve their legend in the annals of destiny. Eternity awaited their triumphant advance.
This week in Visionary Realms News and Notes.
All right, Dymlos, the big, the huge, the colossal news of the week.
This is great.
Unity 6.
Woo! Wow, 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 wow.
We get to go from 5 to 6.
I'm really bad with addition. Is that just...
That's +1. Think of it as like +1 damage or +1 block.
Oh, let's go with +1 block. You know how I love that block.
I know you do love the block.
This is going to be a great upgrade if we're +1 block.
Neither you nor I are developers. I have a computer science degree, but not really in programming. Like we know our way around technical stuff, but we have no idea what the difference between Unity 5 and Unity 6 is.
Yeah, this means very little to me.
Very, very little.
Other than +1 block. Woo, 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 woo,
woo. So I did what any, nerd would do, and I put it into ChatGPT.
Is that like Google? What is ChatGPT?
Oh my goodness.
I'm kidding.
Your nerd card is revoked. Get out. Anyway, I asked ChatGPT to dumb it down for me, and this is what ChatGPT gave me for what is the difference between Unity 5 and Unity 6.
I think Gemini would have done a better job.
Get out.
Google products for life.
No, what's the new one? The Chinese one that's taken over. I mean, if you really wanted to get serious, Dymlos, we could have got DeepSeek, but then the Chinese would have known all about Pantheon.
It's probably best that you just use ChatGPT.
We'll just stick with the ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's what AI has said the difference is. 1, better graphics. That's good.
Good. Great. Love that.
Smoother performance.
Whoosh. Ooh. Faster efficiency. Love that.
Easier multiplayer features.
I like multiplayer, especially since we're in an MMO.
You would think that'd be good for an MMO.
Yeah.
Smart tools for developers. We know that Joppa loves his big Joppa tools.
So now they're going to be huge, big, smart Joppa tools now?
Huge, smart Joppa tools.
Oh, this is the greatest upgrade of all time.
This is the greatest. The greatest. It allows you to make games for the web. Or for people of your age, games for the internet. www.
HTTP://? You mean those interwebs?
Those ones.
Oh, I love the interwebs.
And last but not least, it's also extremely friendly for new creators.
Well, that's good because, most people making an MMO in Unity are probably new creators.
Well, I was thinking when they bring on the new developers, maybe they'll be newer to programming, so they can pick it up easier.
It'll all work out.
Gonna be amazing.
This is good. All 6 of these things are wonderful. Maybe we'll have people not bitching about all this stuff. Better graphics. We have people bitching every day about these graphics, commenting on 1.5-year-old videos like it's 2025. Oh, what are the graphics on this game? It's 2025. Well, you're commenting on a 2-year-old video, idiot.
Dymlos and I both have the YouTube channel on our phone, and the video that Theric made 2.5 years ago gets pretty much 2 to 3 comments a day. And
it's unreal.
Between us, I think we could both just come up with all the negative comments that people, it's just the same stuff over and over. So watch the newer stuff, people. Now, and especially watch Unity 6. Did you get a chance to watch Joppa this week? Because on the last stream that he did last week, he actually showed it running in Unity 6.
I have not seen that one yet. I usually get all my information from the Rewind.
Nice. Well, it looks pretty good. I can tell that there's an upgrade. It's not like shockingly wow, like all of a sudden I walked into a movie theater or something.
Sure.
But it looks nicer. I like it. It definitely, to me, ran smoother. Like there was no hitches. Like there, kind of how sometimes it shudders a bit when because he was in Eastern Plains, and kind of how you turn and it shudders a bit.
All the time. That happens to me all the time.
There was none of that. Like he was running around, he was turning. It ran smooth. So I don't know, sometimes it's like, well, Joppa's got this amazing computer and he's the only one on the server. So maybe that's what that is. But from what he showed off, it seemed pretty good.
I'm very excited for Unity 6. Better water, better everything, and games on the web.
Games on the web. It's definitely a great idea that we bought that water package a month ago.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
Don't get it started on the water.
Yeah.
The number 2 snack?
Yeah, number 2 snack has been, we dropped some money on that number 2 snack, and now we're already in Unity 6 that has its own water. You know what? Honestly, maybe they were hedging their bets, because it could be that Unity 6 water sucks, because it's their first take at water, right? Like, they've not had that before. So maybe it's like, okay, well, we know that this water software, this water building development tool, huge Joppa tool, is awesome, and we're going to buy that because maybe this Unity 6 tool is really, really bad. So it's like,
or it's going to take a long time to put in. Maybe
Yeah.
it's like this massive project that's going to take 6 months to implement.
who knows? We're not smart tools for developers or smart.
We probably can't even develop anything in Unity 6, even though it's 8 times easier.
Super friendly for new creators. We could not do anything.
We're done.
That's how little we know. But we are very excited for it because, you know, we want the game to look great. I'm just sad that we couldn't do this for EA because we wanted all these people to see new stuff. But this works too, because now they can see the old and the new and kind of judge for themselves. And maybe they make content about how good and clean it looks, and maybe it brings more people in. So after us having to eat crow for EA, I'm all for whatever they do. Whatever they do, I'm just going to kind of trust that they have a better plan and it will all be great in the end.
Right. This isn't the hill I'm going to die on for Pantheon.
Right. Absolutely
Or
not.
argue with them about. If they think it's a good idea, I say it's a good idea.
I mean, Kyle's probably clamoring for it too, right? Like, he probably is like, this is how I know how to do it. This is going to make it easier for everybody. So anything that makes Kyle's job easier, I'm 100% for.
Make it happen, Captain. A little bit of breaking news, right? Many of you know we record on Tuesdays, but for the show that we post on Saturday. So right before the show, Savanya came onto the official Discord and said, hey, the Unity 6 upgrade is not going out on what is now the patch day, which is Wednesday. If you didn't know, Wednesday is the official patch day for Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. So it's not going to make it out on Wednesday. It may be Thursday or Friday. So hopefully by the time you're listening to this rewind, you're already playing Pantheon in Unity 6. Yes, hopefully.
Do you feel like maybe they should just wait till next Wednesday? Because especially if it costs money to upload a patch, why, if we're going to be down 2 days and we're going to do another patch in 5 days, why not just wait the 5 days and do it then? I don't know. I know I want to get to playing it too, but like, I also want to make sure the VR is saving money. So what's 5 days, right? Like, we waited 10 years for this game. What's 5 days?
I mean, we could probably hold out. I think that's probably, why not?
I just hope that they, especially if it's like, it's Thursday or Friday.
Right.
But if it becomes, well, it's going to be Monday, well, just wait. Just wait till Wednesday, get all the other stuff in and call it good.
Right. Especially since they're trying to establish a pattern of only patching on Wednesdays, right? Because that was the goal. Like, we're only going to patch on Wednesdays. And so if it doesn't make it in by Wednesday, that's fine. Not a big deal, because we can still play.
Just do a little push.
Just push it till next week.
Just give it a little push. It's all right. No one's going to be upset. I mean, maybe Joppa's chat is upset because all they ask for is patches. When's new patch? When's new patch? I'm pretty sure that they made Wednesday patch day just so Joppa didn't have to answer that question to his chat anymore.
Well, probably everyone is making fun of us in chat right now because Pantheon is up in Unity 6.
Yeah, it's probably great.
And looking fantastic.
Yeah.
0 bugs, no issues whatsoever.
0 bugs.
Hey, Joppa, you get me so excited about classes and abilities. When you say you're someone, I'll come and friends for me. Hey, Joppa, I hope your words were pure gold. My broken heart is my fault, so now I carry around an extra shaker of salt. Hey, Joppa.
Joppa had 3 more streams this week. Not bad. He's working on 10 and a half hours this week, so he started to decline a little bit, but still, more than 10 hours of streaming a week is pretty crazy.
On top of your full-time job that he probably works 80 hours on. Oof. I mean, I know he
and kids
appreciates his family time. Yeah. He's hardcore, and I'm glad that he is so energetic about it because I'd be dead. Like, there's no way I could pull off Joppa's schedule. If he's working the wee hours of the morning, streaming midday, and then working in the night, and going to meetings and he's a good man. He's a good man.
I just picture Joppa with like a cot in his office and like he's just programming, catches a couple hours of sleep, then he wakes back up and starts programming again, and then goes back to sleep. That's how I picture the whole process going.
I'm really glad that he can work from home. And I'm glad that he has that flexibility and we can give him that flexibility to be able to do this job from his house. And then on top of his streaming, just do that right there. It's all right there for him. He doesn't have to worry about it. Hopefully he's getting some exercise in. You know, I do worry about him. You know, we're old men and we need to be getting our exercise. And that goes for you and I, Draq.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we need to be pedaling at our desks or something.
That's why I'm listening to Joppa as I go on my walk because, you know, I got to get those 10, 11 hours of streaming listened to every week.
That's a lot of walking. If you're walking for 11 hours a week, you're doing great.
No, I'm not for all of it. But
okay.
All right, let's get to the information. Enough of that nonsense. Joppa talked a lot about stats, and he actually went through and chat challenged him to test some stats, and it was pretty funny actually, because stats right now, they don't feel the best because you add a bunch of stats and it doesn't really make the numbers bigger, according to Joppa. And we don't know because we don't really have access to these tests. But as you increase your stats, that stats are working, that you do more damage overall. But as he was playing on the stream live, he added 50 strength, and the damage definitely went up. But it wasn't like, oh my goodness, he's one-shotting stuff go up. Like,
sure. And
we're nowhere near adding 50 strength. So, yeah.
I mean, it's fine. The problem with it is that we wanted, you know, one strength to be a big deal, and it's really just not. And that's fine. We got plenty of time to tweak, and that's what needs to happen, and that's fine. And I'm glad that he's listening to those people who are saying things like that, because it's important that he goes and sees that himself, and it's not working. And even on like he was on a stream with Redbeard, and he was talking about he didn't get to play it often, and that he definitely needs to play it more often. He needs to see what his, you know, stats are doing to his heals, or if he's playing a warrior, if it's making him hit harder. So I'm glad that he's seeing this firsthand. It's important that he knows that the scaling still needs to be worked on. And that's fine. We're still in what most of us would call alpha. So in this early access, this is what needs to be worked on.
How dare you, sir? How dare you call it alpha? It is not alpha.
Oh, slap my wrist.
He also did the same thing with AC. At lower levels, there's basically no difference. And he's considering lower levels to be like 1 to 25-ish. Getting a lot of AC doesn't make a lot of difference. But once you get up to higher levels, 40, 35, 40, then it makes a big difference because the mobs hit so much harder. So then there's so much more mitigation that can happen. And so all you low-level warriors that are trying to stack as much AC as possible, it's not making that big of a difference.
It's not working. Also, if the AC doesn't help, just be fine with your chain. I'm level 23, still wearing chain pieces. Like, it's okay. I tank just fine. I have a shaman healer. He's able to keep up. It's not like I even have a cleric healer. You know, it's okay. You don't need to be in full plate at level 10. You know, it's fine. Totally fine.
It's not that big a deal.
Right.
Last but not least, Joppa mentioned stat scaling needs to be fixed. One of the problems is, like, say you have your one int gives you +5 spell damage, right? I'm just throwing out numbers. But at level 1, that's a big increase. But at level 25, it's not a big increase. So as you level up, the int bonus needs to be for more damage because more damage is being done by your spells. So to feel the effect of it, it needs to be a greater bonus.
For sure. I don't know what the answer is to that, but they'll fix it. I'm glad that he's looking at it, though. That's important. If his eyes are on it and he's trying to fix it, that will get to the people that will fix it, right? If it's like on his front burner, it's going to get taken care of pretty quickly. So that's always a good thing.
Always a good thing. Joppa was also talking about items, and he mentioned that uncommon items are going to kind of get you to 30. And all the items that we've kind of seen so far are mostly uncommon items. And so that's going to get you to level 30. And then after level 30, you're going to want to go for the rare items. And the rare items are going to get you from 30 all the way to 50. And those are going to be a lot harder to get, and it's going to take a lot more effort to get them. So how do you feel about this?
I'm glad that uncommon things are going to drop off because we see a lot of stuff and they're all pretty generic, but to know that there's on the horizon, some rare stuff that's going to come. But honestly, the stuff that I'm seeing, the stuff that the guild is making, crafting, looks pretty good. I'm not complaining. I just got a new breastplate and added 60 hit points on. So I'm very excited about what we're finding along the way and what's being crafted. So this rare stuff should be a lot of fun if it's even better than that.
Maybe can I get a colored robe in here somewhere?
Nope.
Can I buy that for $1?
Absolutely not.
How much money?
Robes don't exist in Pantheon. Sorry.
Just dirty brown ones.
Yeah. I mean, they're not even real robes. You're basically just wearing a long dress.
Ugh. It's like a dirty nightshirt. That's what it is. It's awful.
Now you're really Scrooge.
I am really Scrooge. Joppa talked a little bit about crafting items because, of course, the crafters are really nervous because now that Joppa's talking about all these dropped items and how they're going to be balanced, and but Joppa assured them that crafting does not have the rare schematics that they've always talked about. And the rare schematics, for those of you that don't know, are one-time use schematic drops. So you go to a dungeon, you find a rare mob, you kill it, it drops a rare schematic. That allows you to make an item one time. It's not that you learn the schematic and then you can make 100 of them like you could do now. You just get one time to make the item and then it's done. And so that is what the crafters are currently missing in the configuration. And he says it's still coming. They just haven't had time to mess with that yet.
Makes sense. I do like the one-time schematic drop. You could even go one step further, and instead of, if people are upset that the schematic drops and it's done, they want to keep their schematic, you could just make it an item. Like you need an item that only drops off a raid mob and it doesn't drop all the time. You could go that route. So either way, I'm glad that there will be something for crafters that will be rare and compete with these rare items that we're going to get from 35 to 50, right? This is all good. These are all good things that he's talking about this week. So good streams, Joppa. Good streams so far.
All right. Well, you know how that goes. We go from the good straight to the not so good. So we talked a little bit about the PvP server, which I know that you and I are not excited about at all. But
it's whatever. I know there are 10 people that want to play PvP server. That's fine. Let those 10 people. Can we call the server 247?
Well, Joppa did mention, and he said this, and I would have never said this if I was Joppa, but he said, quote, if without 247, we would have never done a PvP server. And I was like, oh.
I mean, I've said that on this show. That's several weeks ago.
That's cringe bad, Joppa. That's not good.
Yeah, I know we don't want to mention that name, but I think that'd be a great PvP name. A little PvP server 247.
Call it the 247 PvP server.
Absolutely.
That's so awful.
Absolutely. You just dive right into it. Like, it might have been a bad stain. That's a great name for it. I think that Joppa should be writing this down. We've got such great information for him, but that's fine. I hope all 10 of those people love it.
I mean, if you can't laugh at yourself, then you definitely
there you go.
You can't do a podcast.
That's exactly right. So that's exactly right. You just embrace it, right?
Just embrace it.
That's what it is.
You own it. You did exactly. It. You own it.
And now let's all have a good chuckle about it. And those 10 people that want to play on PvP servers, and please, if you're listening to this in the comments, tell me if you're playing on PvP. I want to count all 10 of you. So please let me know if you plan on playing on the PvP server.
Yes. All right. From the bad back to the good. Joppa said, because someone in his chat asked him about battle passes, and Joppa said and he doesn't usually come across this like harsh, but he said, quote, there will never be battle passes, and that battle passes are an ugly word.
Oh, all right. I don't even know what would be a battle pass in Pantheon. Like, so
Season 1, Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen.
Yeah, like, so, you know, I play MOBAs sometimes, particularly one Pokemon Unite MOBA. Yeah, Pokemon, I did it again. And they have a battle pass, and you get supporting stuff, and you get costumes and all that stuff. Is that what they were thinking would be in Pantheon? Is like,
so
you would kill 1,000 mobs and you get a sweet cosmetic robe of some sort?
No, MMOs do battle passes so badly. It's like they wanted in on the battle pass money, but they realized they didn't really have a good way to do it. So most of this stuff is either you stick something on the battle pass, you say, okay, so here's a 3-month time, and these things are only going to be available for 3 months. And if you log in a certain number of times, like login rewards or exploration rewards, or like you said, yeah, they're basically dailies in an MMO tied to a reward system that you pay for. So now you're paying to do dailies.
Oh, that sounds miserable.
It's absolutely the worst.
Wow. Ugh. I've got a real bad taste in my mouth right now.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Thank you, Joppa, for never having a battle pass. That sounds miserable. I do dailies on the MOBA, but they take like 2 minutes. They don't take long at all. Like, to have to go out and kill certain mobs every day, that's miserable.
I mean, they're not real hard, but again, it's like we don't want dailies in our MMOs. That's not a reward.
Even if it's like a gray mob, to go out and find it, and maybe it's on like a nighttime spawn, you have to wait till night. I mean, that could take several hours to do. And that's like several hours of you maybe waiting for a group, I guess. Maybe that's filler. But man, that sounds terrible. Ugh. Especially like the warrior that can't solo anything. And I tried. It would have to be light blue or less for me to be able to do something like that on my own. There's just no chance. That's stupid. So
yeah, I don't think battle passes are great for MMOs. I think it's all the worst part of MOBAs mixed in with all the worst part of MMOs.
Yeah, just MOBAs, you stick with your battle passes. Those are all right. Kinda. But
Joppa talked about a potential new hire for
this
VR.
Gets a huge I love this.
Apparently a friend of Kyle, who also plays a lot of old school RuneScape, and Joppa's really excited about it. Thinks that he'll be a good fit for the team. Didn't name him. We know nothing other than he's a friend of Kyle, but Joppa seems excited, so I'm excited.
Can we get Kyle on the show?
I don't think anybody gets Kyle. Like, he did.
I know, that's why it'd be huge.
Yeah, he did one interview a while back. Who was it with?
I don't even know. Oh, was it Ronick?
No, it was a content creator. He did it with
really?
Maybe it was us. Was it us?
It wasn't me.
No. Mike Therick. It might have been Therick.
We sound really stupid right now if it's us.
Or Desrin. I don't know. You got to cut all this out.
Yeah, sure. We should try to get Kyle. We'll script the whole thing. We'll like give him the questions 3 weeks ahead of time. He can really research the answers. We won't stray. We won't throw him any like, who's your new designer friend? You know, anything like that. We just get some Kyle insight. I think that's a good idea.
Maybe if we give Kyle's buddy an interview, then that can get us to Kyle, like a level up system, or like we
could have a tag team.
Yeah, or like a season. Like we can create our own battle pass of VR employees.
That sounds wonderful. How much do we have to pay for that?
Joppa, can you get us a VR battle pass?
VR battle pass, just for us.
At the end is Kyle.
I'll kill all the gray mobs for an interview with Kyle.
Joppa went on to explain what many people don't know, and I have been saying is one of the most interesting things about Pantheon since the very beginning, is the fact that Pantheon is the quaternity. So it has a fourth member of the important classes, and that is the support/control class. And so the enchanter, the Bard, and the Necromancer, which isn't typically a support or a control class, are all support/control classes in Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Now, each of them lean on the spectrum towards either support, which is Joppa's kind of calling buffs and debuffs, or control, which is like mezzing and crowd control. So the Bard is more buffs, debuffs.
Good.
All the Necro's in the middle, and the Enchanter's kind of the least buff debuff class. The Enchanter is the most crowd control, with the Necro in the middle, and then the Bard has the least amount of crowd control.
Interesting.
Do you like this vision for Bards, Necros, and Enchanters?
I don't like this vision for our potential static with Mr. C playing the Bard and Gulo playing the Enchanter. Like, oh, now we got too much support and not enough DPS.
I mean, it does kind of throw a little wrinkle into our static for sure.
Although changing to the Druid and Herode being the greatest damager of all time, well past the normal boring wizard, it could even itself out. But I do also think that Bard buffs maybe could bridge that gap. I think it could be good.
Everyone in our static is now just here to buff the wizard to do massive damage.
That's really what it's looking to be.
I am just basically Dragon Ball Z guy in the back going Hadouken and launching the giant fireball.
Did you just drop Dragon Ball and Street Fighter in the same? Oh, nerds everywhere, just shut this podcast off for the sentence that you just spoke.
And then the fireball comes from the sky and like a planet, like, and lands on the enemy and is just dead in one nuke. Like, that's because I'm so buffed with all this.
I'm not against this. If that's how it works out and it does work, I'm game. And I think Vendini will be very happy because he'll get to do some damage in with the healing. I think this could work out. Maybe we'll see what the Bard gets. I'm really interested to see what the Bard gets. But if it's going to be the least control, then we definitely need an Enchanter. I guess I'm okay with it now that I kind of talked through it here with you, Draq.
We'll figure it out, I'm sure.
For sure.
Well, here on our roller coaster ride of VR news, Auction House may not even be on the table anymore. Like, not at all. Like, no Auction House whatsoever.
Wow.
Joppa said, quote, that if you take too many things out of the game, like selling items in chat, then you take the, quote, ruggedness out of the game, and it makes your game feel dead. So he's not even sure that an auction house is going to happen.
I mean, I know we've always wanted EC Tunnel, right? Like, that's what the goal always was, or what the vision was. Maybe not necessarily Brad's vision, but in general, as far as selling stuff, to make a place where everyone goes and sets up their own bazaar. That's just so inconvenient. And when it comes to EC Tunnel, like, you'd have to spend hours to try to sell your stuff. You just hop on and try to sell. I guess that, is more filler time, when you can't find a group or something like that. Ugh. Especially because if we're going to be so spread out, and we're talking, a half hour to get to a place. If I'm in Wild's End at the very bottom and I have to get all the way to Thronefast to come get your item, the item buy-off falls off if it's like one-time schematics and things like that at high level. So really, we're just selling uncommon items up to 30. Ugh. I don't know. I like an auction house, but honestly, have we really needed one?
I mean, we haven't, but we also don't have an economy. So I think you need
So maybe we don't have an economy.
I mean, I'm honestly okay with that. If the game doesn't need an economy, then it doesn't need an economy. Because honestly, I'm just giving crap away, and I'm not charging anybody for anything. Money-making Scrooge McDuck Draq has not been activated in any way on Pantheon Rise of the Fallen because there's just no reason to. And if you put an auction house in this game, it's going to trigger something in the back of my head. Oh, yeah. And it's going to be full game on. And I'm not gonna sell things under my real name because that's gonna tarnish my name.
Sure. No,
I'm going to screw,
you're not the only one, Draq.
I'm gonna screw everyone.
Absolutely.
For as much money as possible.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just inevitable. But the only real thing it screws over is the crafters, right? Gathering all those items, pounding down the doors of other crafters who have to make other parts for you. the juice is not worth the squeeze at this point because you don't have any money at the end to make if there's no economy. If Joppa doesn't want an auction house, then, and I know Joppa really doesn't necessarily want crafting either. Maybe, crafting in general, but like,
wait a minute. What?
He's never been like excited about it. He doesn't like to balance the drops and the crafting stuff, right? Like it's more of a pain in the ass than anything, right? It's just another thing he has to worry about. So if he could just nix the auction house, nix all crafting, I think he'd be a lot happier.
There's no
Maybe
way
that's what this is. Who knows? If he's talking about nixing the auction house, what's the point? What's the point of crafting? You have no money to make.
No, they have Neff on their team. They're not nuking crafting.
Cut.
It's not happening.
He's cut. Sorry, Neff, you're cut.
You paused. Not cut, paused.
No, this is, if we're not having any crafting, there's no pausing. It's cut.
Listen, that's not happening. You're just like,
I get it. I like crafting ish, but it's a lot of work to
hang with me here.
I'm hanging.
What if we look at crafting a different way? What if we look at crafting as not an individual crafter, like it is in every other game? What if crafting is a guild activity? What if it's designed to be a guild activity? What if it's designed to have a bunch of people that gather and then organized into one person that crafts? And that is the optimum way to craft. And that's how everyone should be encouraged to do it, and that's how everyone would benefit from it. And I think with just a little bit of information from VR and them just saying, look, we're designing this system so that guilds can have crafters, and you need to be in guilds and you need to organize your crafters and you need to get the materials. And so that way when you get these rare schematics, you can feed them the schematics and they'll have enough skill to use it.
This sounds great. Who's going to do it? Who's going to eat into that? And how do you...
I think people would love to do that.
Who gets to be the crafter? And how do you know that they could be a flake? You're going to need multiple crafters.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the big problem. Is you level your crafter guy up to level 50, and he's got all the rare schematics, and then he doesn't get the raid drop he wants one night, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hey,
I'm going to another guild. Fuck you."
That Nathan Napalm guild is sure looking pretty sexy over there.
They said they'd feed me everything. I'm out.
Yeah. 100%.
That's the only problem. It would have to be under the guild banner, right? Like it couldn't be an individual that was the crafter. It'd have to be.
I like that idea a lot. Guild. What if you could feed schematics to the guild bank, and then crafters could then use schematics for the guild bank?
From the guild bank, like they stay in the guild bank.
Yep.
And they can just use it from that. And we have the guild book.
They can't put them in their own
now
stuff.
We're just spitballing some great shit here. Like Joppa.
This is gold.
You need to be listening to this. This is good. Neff, I hope you're listening to this, because this is what, just either have like a book, or the guild has a machine in their guild hall that is specific for upgrades. You killed this boss, you get an upgraded armor making machine, or whatever that hangs out in your guild hall. And that's where you do the crafting from, and you feed the schematics into that machine particularly. Damn, why aren't we creating a game? Why aren't we getting hired by VR?
Because we don't know how to use Unity.
Oh, yeah, right. We can't make a game. Yeah. But it's friendly to new users like us, Draq. We could learn.
Let's go get a book.
What's a book?
Exactly.
Isn't there a podcast that I can listen to about Unity 6?
Last but not least, Joppa talked, and I only include this because it's relevant to me. And, great. I'm on this podcast, so
that's why this is last.
Yeah, that's why it's last. Joppa talked a little bit about set bonuses, and he is very meh on set bonuses. Now,
sure.
You know me. I love myself a good set bonus. I will go
especially
out of my way.
Especially if it makes you look the same.
Oh my goodness. I just yes, I must have it. I will kill whatever has to be killed. I will camp whatever has to be camped. I'm getting the freaking set bonus. But I'm not sure it really works in a game like Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, because you want the different varied looks. You want people to get different items. You want people to mix and match. You don't want them to get a set bonus and then never break it up, because that's the problem with the set bonus is once you lose one piece, then your
Not
whole
as
thing
good.
whole thing goes to crap. So you can never change anything out because you can't lose any of the pieces.
Right. Too bad for you.
Too bad. So sad.
Plus, you know, Fashion Quest is the end of the game, right? Like the real end game is not necessarily rating. It's how you look in town. You can't give me a set bonus because maybe something looks good with another item. And, you know, like we were messing with those leather boots and Hangor with Mr. C. And now he looks like a punk rocker halfling with his spiky boots and his spiky wrists. And I mean, you should be able to kind of Fashion Quest your stuff with that as long as it's, you know, good for you.
Dymlos, you should just be able to transmog everything up.
Don't you dare say that word around here.
From the SGL Action News Desk, this is MMO News, featuring your anchors, Draq and Dymlos.
Well, welcome to Gaming News with all your hard-hitting news. Yeah.
That was lame.
I mean, that's what this podcast is, right? So I hate to start this off with some actually really bad news, but as of this recording today, it came out that one of the head developers, the husband and wife couple that were doing Project Gorgon, which we have played on this channel for several months and we all really enjoyed. And we knew that the wife had developed stage 4 cancer. And so unfortunately, as of this prior weekend, she passed away over the weekend. So any of you out there have played Project Gorgon or enjoyed Project Gorgon, the husband could absolutely use our prayers and good thoughts and, you know, maybe some money if you've got some money to throw at it. If you haven't played Project Gorgon before, go download it on Steam. It's a great game. They update it all the time. But yeah, Sandra Powers was her name. And unfortunately, she passed away. She was a wonderful person who had a great personality, very whimsical and humorous. As you know, Project Gorgon's very quirky. And so we have certainly lost someone that is very meaningful to me, even though I've never met her in the MMO world. Her skill, her humor is a very big loss to the MMO community. So if any of you out there go play Project Gorgon, go help them out. If you hadn't heard, I'm sorry to be the one that breaks the bad news, but you know, she had a rough battle with cancer. So the fact that she's found some relief is a good thing. The article that is posted below, the husband said that she was in a lot of pain. And so this is just something that I had to pass on because, you know, people need to know this stuff. It's important. And hopefully we can lift Sandra's husband up and help him through this tough time. So I don't know if you have any words to say, Draq, but
yeah, I mean, most of our quote sad news is not actually that sad, but this is just really sad. Our time in Project Gorgon, while it was somewhat short, I think I maybe played it for like 6 months, but it was a fun 6 months. I had a good time, and just to have a couple that programs a game and launched this huge MMO type experience, like I can't even imagine doing that. And I just think that, as you said, it's just a big loss for the especially for the indie MMO community, which is what we are a part of, right?
Yep.
The indie MMO community, that's our people, that's our bread and butter. So yeah, I just say that you said her name was Sandy.
Sandra Powers was her name.
Sandra, yeah, we will miss you, Sandra.
We'll be thinking of you and thinking of your husband, and you know, doing our best to help support as best we can. So go download Project Gorgon on Steam. It's usually pretty cheap. You can find it on sale a lot of the times. And if you like quirky MMOs, it's a great game. It really is a great game. And they do a good job. And the community is wonderful. They've been supporting both of them through this whole time. And certainly him now, begging him to take time off. Just go support them if you can and be keeping him in your thoughts. Next, our good friend Redbeard Flynn, who is another creator of content that has been on this show.
RBF.
Yeah, a good friend of ours. He put out a video recently about a game called Quinfall. And if you haven't heard of this particular MMO, I'm not surprised because it is like this giant under the radar game that has sprung out of nowhere that claims it's going to be the largest MMO as far as overall miles within the game, like literally the biggest world. It's come out. It's now available in EA, and in 6 months we'll be launching, and no one knows anything about it. So Redbeard, in his way, wanted to inform the community as to why this is a giant scam. So he put out an 1.5-hour video, and the whole 1.5-hour video was basically him just trying to log in, and he was still unable to log in. There was no gameplay in the whole 1.5-hour video. It was just him crashing, him running into errors. And this is what he wanted to prove to people, because this game was like giving away passes for content creators to promote their game for free. And so he didn't want any of that. He bought the game for $40 and wanted to show it off to everybody of how bad it was. And I love this video because he had a real like breakdown moment, and not even just moment, like the whole time he was just kind of like really upset. And so I want to bring Redbeard on the channel so that we can bring him back to his normal, wonderful, caring, lovely self. Draq, are you ready for another MMO scam in Quinfall? How exciting is this?
I mean, I took one look at this game and I put it right up there with Dreamworld, right? I read like the first 2 sentences and I was like, nope, this is a scam. Now, maybe I just have a radar for this type of stuff, because I seriously, like, I saw it and I was like, this is not happening. And I'm not interested in this at all. Because it looked like a scam. And the way that they phrased things looked like a scam. Everything that in their literature looked like a scam. It screamed scam from the beginning.
Biggest MMO ever. Never heard of it before. Has not been worked on. Is now in EA and about to be released in 6 months. Ugh, it looks bad. It looks bleak. And this is just like we talked about when we did the top 5 most hated MMOs. Like, games like this make games like Pantheon, who are really trying to not be a scam and be a real game, it puts a bad taste in everybody's mouth, and it makes people just do the meme of, well, all these games are a scam. All these MMOs are just scams. I hate this. I hate you, Quinfall.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great for the indie MMO scene. It's not great for the players. It's lose, 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 and we all lose. And I don't like it. I understand why Redbeard Flynn is upset. Yeah, this hurts the entire genre of MMORPGs, the genre that we love. And shame on you for producing this thing.
I don't wanna be a top 40 hit. I don't wanna be sweet 16. You say top 10, but I tell your friend that it's only top 5 for me. 1, 2, 3, top 5.
Top 5. Once again, 2025, Draq is undefeated. The reigning champion. We are the champions, my friend.
Oh, man, I can't believe how excited you are for losing. No one thinks you're the champion. No one has liked your list so far in 2025. Heck, they don't even like any of your 2024 lists. So keep living your delusional dream that you have the best top 5 lists, which you certainly don't. However, this week, I doubt this is one of those weeks where I don't think anyone's going to have a bad list. And so even you, Draq, your list is probably pretty good. We'll see as we crack down. But it's all about food. It's the Super Bowl is this week, so we're doing top 5 Super Bowl snacks.
Hold on. Maybe you can have some wins this week, Dymlos. I mean, maybe we could co-share a win, and that will allow you to get some winning going. Kind of, build your momentum up. Unlike your football team, the Atlanta Falcons, you can actually have a win.
Never winning a Super Bowl, never winning a top 5. Fine. All right, Draq, what's your number 5?
Number 5 has to be Parmesan garlic chicken wings. Amazing. And you cannot get the boneless wings. Don't cheap out.
You mean saucy nugs? Get them saucy nugs out of here.
Get the saucy nugs out.
Those are wings.
Don't go to Wendy's to get your chicken wings. Quote, chicken wings. Get actual chicken wings. Either cook them or go to Wingstop and get yourself some Parmesan garlic wings.
You are right that Parmesan garlic is the best flavor of wings. Anytime I go to like B-Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings, if you don't know what B-Dubs is, or any of those wings places, Wingstop is a great example of that. Parmesan garlic is the flavor. Sometimes I like to mix and match, but in that mix and match is always parm garlic. It's just the best flavor. So great number 5, Jack.
The best.
Well done.
I mean, that's all I do is win, win, win. What about your number 5?
My number 5 is kind of one of the OGs of Super Bowl snacks. Easy, pretty much at every party are pinwheel sandwiches. And it can be whatever you want in your sandwich. I just find these very convenient. They're finger food, perfect. You don't get your hands sloppy. Usually they're on some sort of toothpick, so you can even just quickly grab them. You don't have to worry about like sticking your hands in the bowl of chips or getting your hands dirty from some wings, which I know is fine, but like you don't want to keep grabbing things with your hands. And so pinwheel sandwiches make this super easy. Plus they're delicious, especially if you put some nice cheese in there and some mayonnaise and cut it up real nice. I love pinwheel sandwiches. I would eat these for lunches sometimes. Like I just go to the grocery store, buy a 6-pack of pinwheel sandwiches. It's just basically a burrito cut up into 6 bites. So I love these things though. Thinking about it right now makes me want it to be Super Bowl Sunday right now.
This is the worst. These are the worst. They're the worst. You know why they're the worst?
Please.
Because I think they have to be wives. There's wives out there that are sneaking in like cucumbers and and all kinds of weird mayonnaise and Miracle Whip and all kinds of like crappy mustard and all kinds of weird stuff in these little pinwheel sandwiches, and
they're trying to be creative, Draq.
Oh my goodness, it's awful, it's horrible, and it just is disgusting because they're trying to be like Gordon Ramsay and they're just not. and you don't know what you're getting into until you bite into it. It's awful.
Whatever.
No,
That's
pinwheel
ridiculous.
Sandwiches are bottom 5 Super Bowl food.
What? There is not a Super Bowl party that I have ever been to that pinwheel sandwiches aren't at. And they're always delicious. I don't even care what's in it. And sorry that wives are trying to feed you vitamins and nutrients that your body needs while you're stuffing your face with Parmesan garlic wings.
Let's move on to my number 4.
Yeah, please. Let's hear it.
All right. So my number 4 is the superior. If you're looking for the quote, bread sandwich item, my number 4 is superior to the pinwheel sandwiches because that's a slider. We're from the Midwest, Dymlos. We had the 100% beef slider. Listen, amazing.
They're great.
Just a little miniature hamburger that you just take it, you pick it up, you just pop it in your mouth, and you're just like, let's go.
Yeah, but sliders are full of like fat and things that are unhealthy, whereas the pinwheel sandwiches at least get you something that your body needs. Don't get me wrong.
You're not eating healthy stuff at the Super Bowl party. Just get out of here.
You're right.
Just get out of here. That's such a lie. You're poking at the
other than my pinwheel sandwiches.
No,
I love them.
No, those are you got like a pound of mayonnaise. And it's probably crappy mayonnaise on those pinwheel sandwiches.
I love crappy mayonnaise too. I mean, there's like some pepper and sometimes some lettuce and
Your number 5 is bogus and you know it. But maybe you can redeem yourself with your number 4.
Number 4, nachos with queso. Queso blanco, queso whatever. I don't care what kind of cheese it is. I just want nachos. Nachos are so unbelievably delicious. Chips and cheese, I get that wherever I go. I don't care where it's at. Taco Bell. Just give me the chips and cheese. I want the chips and the queso. And even when we went to the gas station, the top 5 gas station, the only thing that was acceptable was the gas station nachos and cheese, right? This is a staple. This has to be at every Super Bowl party, just like pinwheel sandwiches at every Super Bowl. Hell, just dip the pinwheel sandwiches in the queso and you're good. It's a win-win for everything.
Barf.
What?
No, dipping your pinwheel sandwiches in nacho cheese.
Oh, I thought you were
barf.
saying nachos is not acceptable.
No, I will amend your nachos to a little bit. You cannot just have any nacho sauce. That's super dangerous. What you can have is the yellow, or you can also go with the white queso blanco in the jar. You either get it at the gas station or you get it at the grocery store.
You want jarred cheese?
Yeah, you want the jarred cheese.
I'm not against it. Remember, I'll eat anything. But I also like homemade queso. Like if you're going to melt some Velveeta.
Get your crappy homemade queso out. If you're gonna
just give me that Tostitos in a can.
If you're gonna do homemade, then you upgrade to the nacho dip. That's where you go with that. You don't do queso.
Oh, come on.
No. Get out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe you've poo-pooed on all these foods. Your Super Bowls parties must be terrible.
My Super Bowls are ballers. You have pinwheel sandwiches and chips with cheese.
Yeah, I love both those things.
You don't have nachos. You have chips with cheese.
That's what nachos are, dummy. All right, well, let's hear your number 3.
Number 3, of course, is your stuffed crust, pepperoni, and spicy Italian sausage. Usually from
pizza?
Pizza. Usually from Papa John's. But
is that a snack?
Yeah, snack. You have the pizza that sits in the middle of the table. It's like the main
That's
snack.
the main course.
No, that's the main snack. And you don't take you're not there eating
everything on the table is just a snack.
Everything on the table is a snack.
This is bunk.
No.
Pizza is not a snack.
It's a snack. Because
if it was a combo you
mix it. You mix it with the other stuff. You're not taking 8 pieces of pizza. You're taking 1. And you take your 1 piece of pizza with the stuffed crust, because it's also a breadstick. Remember, because it's stuffed crust, so it doubles as a breadstick. So it's a snack. And you dip it in your sauce, which doubles as more snackage, because you have the little dipping cups. Because you weren't stupid. You didn't just take the standard dipping cups that they give you. You ordered 8 extra dipping cups. So you can just take that and you can just dip it in there. It's 3, 4 sauce, whatever. You got the spicy sauce, the garlic sauce, the butter sauce, the ranch sauce, all the sauces.
I love your passion for this, Draq.
Yes.
You were really getting after it.
Love it.
Yeah. I mean, pizza's not a snack, unfortunately. It's the main course. If you have a pizza, that's what you're eating, and everything else is the snacks around it. But okay, whatever you want to, it's your list, Draq. If you think that pizza's a snack, then maybe you should try combos.
Oh, yuck. Gross. Combos. Get out. Listen, let's see if you can bring a little passion to your number 3 pick.
Well, number 3. I love me a soft pretzel. Hot, soft pretzels and cheese to dip it in. Here I'm back with the cheese. I love me some cheese. It's one of my favorite things. It's how I get a lot of my protein in my diet, because I love cheese so much. I love it in Super Bowl parties. I love it at the mall. I love it at ball games. It's one of my go-tos for any sporting event. Hot pretzels and cheese.
What, are you going to the county fair to get your pretzel? You're paying $8 for your soft pretzel with your little cheese thing that's not even really that heated up. Listen, I'm 100% with you. If I go to a baseball game or a football game live, then I'm totally getting the soft pretzel with cheese. But I'm not bringing that into my house, because I can't recreate the magic. You're not at the ballpark.
You have an oven in your house.
No, but it's not the same. It's not the same.
It's the exact same thing.
No, it's not. It's not the same.
Oh, my God.
No, the magic of the ballpark infuses itself into the pretzel, and it tastes completely different.
That's the most craziest bullshit that's ever come out of your mouth.
No, it's totally different. Which is why
100% fact.
Because you cannot put pretzel with cheese on your home top 5 snacks.
I absolutely can.
If we did top 5 sporting event foods,
they sell them in the freezer. You can go to the grocery store and get hot pretzels from the freezer section.
Because when they ship them to the baseball stadium, they're fresh.
You can make them fresh too, Draq. I guarantee your wife can make them better than the ballpark.
When's the last time you had a fresh pretzel?
At home?
Yes.
Or in general?
At home during the Super Bowl.
I mean, maybe...
That's what I thought.
Maybe 2 Super Bowls ago? I don't know.
You're such a liar.
What?
Liar.
No, this is wonderful. You stick them in your oven, and now that we've got air fryers, it makes it even better. So this is absolute. You know what? I'm going to have these at my Super Bowl party this year. So get out.
No magic. That's all.
Hot pretzels and cheese and Pop-Tarts.
No magic.
Draq, I can't believe how much you have shit on my list so far. And I have done very little. We started out saying that there was not going to be any shitting on this list. And yet here you are just...
I mean, I can't help it. You're just throwing me softballs.
Oh, my God. Speaking of softballs, let's hear your number 2.
Listen, I'm the only one that has brought a drink to our Super Bowl party. Out of everyone, none of the Patreons, not you, nobody else is drinking anything. I'm the only one having water because it is the number 2 snack at your Super Bowl party. If you are not properly hydrating, then you're probably going to pass out in the third quarter.
Properly hydrating through beer. That's how you get your water during the Super Bowl. You don't drink water.
That's how you have a heart attack during the Super Bowl.
Beer is not causing people to have heart attacks.
I would have been fine except for that last Bud Light. It put me over the top.
Cause of death, Bud Light. Oh, this number 2 water bullshit that you keep pulling. This is the reason no one likes your list, is because it's not a snack. Once again, water is not a snack. Draq.
Water is a snack. You have a cooler in the back that has the store-bought ice in it, and then you put the waters in the bottom and you cover it with ice, and then you have to reach your hand down through the freezing cold ice.
Such preparation.
And then grab the water out of the freezing ice.
Sweet Aquafina.
Yep. The Aquafina. That's if I like you. Otherwise, you're getting
glacial diarrhea.
Yeah, otherwise
crystal,
crystal
diarrhea
geyser. Yep.
There it is. There it is. Geyser. Diarrhea geyser versus the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Or Kirkland. Yep.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is unbelievable.
What about your number 2, Dymlos?
Draq, I love me some meatballs. This is another staple at a Super Bowl. If there are not some meatballs at your Super Bowl party, I don't want to come to it. And I don't care what they're in. They could be in barbecue sauce, cheese, whatever. I don't care. Parmesan garlic sauce does not matter. I want meatballs, and I want them on my plate at your Super Bowl party. This is an absolute staple. It's kind of right up there with sliders, right? Like you need some sort of hefty meat thing there. And so for me, I want meatballs. That's what I want for my meat to go along with, like, my hot pretzel.
You know where I get my meatballs at?
I don't even want to know. If you say my mom, I'm going to be real pissed.
In the sliders, that were served number 4, because I put bread around them and I don't have to get messy.
So you just take the meatball and put some bread around it,
and and some of your barbecue sauce over the meatball that kind of drips on the bread a little bit, and then you don't have to have silverware. You just eat the thing. Like my way's way better.
That's fine.
Your meatball number 2 is inferior to my number 4.
No way.
At a Super Bowl party, it is absolutely because it's affordable. You're not thinking about the people.
There are forks everywhere, Draq.
You're just thinking about yourself.
Yeah, I want the meatballs. Give me the meatballs. Sometimes the meatballs are too big for a slider bread, and then you have to cut them up with a fork.
Yeah, that's awful. You want to cut your
that's
meatballs
great.
in half? No, because you want the entire circle to be like the.
I don't need carbohydrates with my meat to make it good, and which your slider does. So get it out. Get out. Meatballs number 2.
Whatever.
Now, before we go into number 1, I just want to throw out an honorable mention to all the wives that Draq was bashing on earlier with my pinwheel sandwiches. All the beautiful people, and it's not just the wives. There's plenty of people. There are plenty of men out there that do this too. I love it when I go to a Super Bowl party and they've taken the time to show that they care about you as the guest to make any food creation that is shaped like a football. So this could be cookies that look like a football. This could be a dip that is in the shape of a football that looks nice. This could be anything that is in the shape of a football for the party. They took the time to let you know that they care about you and they made this football-shaped creation, that gets a big honorable mention to me. So anything shaped like a football.
No, I'm not down with this at all. Like,
what?
If you're not, listen, if you're creating things that are like football cakes and football cookies, then you're not really that interested in football to begin with. And you should probably just go somewhere else, because you're really only at the Super Bowl to watch the commercials anyway.
There's nothing wrong with that, Draq.
No, there is, because when I sit down to watch the Super Bowl, I'm actually there to watch a football game. And I don't want
the commercials. Eat the football-shaped cookies, you son of a bitch.
No, I don't want
bullshit.
I don't want your crazy, pleasingly aesthetic food around. I just want to munch, and I want raw food. And so, yeah, get your football-shaped cake out. Get it out.
Oh, you're the worst. You're the worst human being.
It's probably your losing Atlanta Falcons home team anyway. It's not even the teams that are playing in the Super Bowl.
Whatever. I'm done with this list. What's your number one? Let's wrap this up.
All right, number one comes with a story. I don't even know if you caught this, but number one is what I like to call the dip of awesomeness.
Dip of awesomeness.
Do you remember the dip of awesomeness?
I think I do, but I always mix this up. Is it different than the crack dip? Is it like the salsa ranchy?
Nope, that's not it.
Okay, that's the crack dip.
That's the crack dip.
Okay.
No, what I'm talking about is we used to have a friend that used to play MMORPGs. We'll lovingly refer to him as Card. And he taught me how to make this dip. What this dip is 2 of the squares of Velveeta cheese.
Delicious.
2 pounds of hamburgers.
Perfect.
And then 2 things of... Oh, no, it does have salsa, because it's 2 things of the cans of salsa that you put in with it.
Sure.
And then you put that in a giant bowl, and then you put it in the microwave, and you heat it, and then for like 5 minutes, then you stir it together, and then you heat it again for another couple of minutes, and then it's just this big gooey hamburgery salsa-y dip, and it's amazing.
I do remember this.
This is what you should replace your nachos cheese dip with. Like, this is far superior to any 7-layer dip, any nacho cheese dip, anything else. This is the only thing that should be touching your chips at the Super Bowl party. You'll thank me now. I've given you the recipe, the secret recipe. You're welcome.
What can I say? Except you're welcome. Yeah, I do remember that now. There's a reason that we don't hang out with him anymore, and I feel like it's this dip. Yes. I'm just kidding. No, I do remember this. It was good. I mean, but it's pretty basic. It's just Velveeta, hamburger, and salsa. It's not the be all end all. It's certainly not
dip of awesomeness, sir.
Oh, I forgot its name. I mean, when's the last time you made it?
My wife won't let me make it anymore. She says it's too bad for me.
So it's a young man's dip. It's not a dip for old men.
I literally wait till she leaves me alone in the house.
That's why she goes on her week-long trips without you, so you can make dip of awesomeness.
Sometimes I'm like, hey, are you going on a trip? Because, I could make some dip of awesomeness while you're gone.
You don't tell her. You can't tell her. Maybe you're thinking that in your brain.
She's going to know anyway.
Why? Because you're going to leave the dishes for her to clean up when she gets back?
Once you've been married for 15 years, there's no hiding that stuff in there.
Why are these 2 packages of Velveeta? Did you eat 2 boxes of Velveeta yourself, Draq? Get out of here. Go on that 10-hour walk and listen to Joppa.
I just had a garden hose. I just left it on the counter and had a garden hose sitting on the couch watching movies the whole time you were gone.
Oh, my goodness. That's terrible. All right.
Well, I have clearly crushed you, but we'll go ahead and we'll hear your number one as well.
Well, number one is a Nebraska favorite, and it might be named other things in other parts of the nation, but here in Nebraska, we call it puppy chow. And this is where you take Chex cereal and mix it up with peanut butter and then cover it up with powdered sugar. And it is the most delicious snack. Actually, we've stopped calling it puppy chow because idiots would actually feed it to their dogs. So now it's called human chow whenever I go to buy it. And it's just a wonderful, crunchy, peanut buttery, powdered sugary goodness that you just can't stop eating it. Like once you start kind of munching on it, you've had all your sliders and your pinwheel sandwiches and you're full and it's time for dessert. You go for this puppy chow and you'd never stop eating it until the bowl's gone. Like it's one of those things where it doesn't really fill you up and you just keep eating it until it's completely gone and you want more puppy chow and there's not anymore because you've eaten it all and you feel like a big fat piece of shit. So puppy chow, number 1. Have you had any, Draq? I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, this is the
How did this not make your list?
I mean, it's real close. It's real close to being on the Draq list because this stuff is amazing.
It's wonderful.
Like, and it's like you said, like you're just sitting there and you're like, oh man, I just ate the whole bowl.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be for everybody.
Right? Easy to eat the whole bowl.
And you're just like, oh, I guess I'll just put it over in that other guy's chair and maybe people will think he ate it all.
Yep, blame it on the person next to you.
Yeah,
oh, look at this fat ass next to me. I can't believe he ate all that puppy chow.
Bill, what did you do, Bill?
I didn't even get any. As your fingers are covered in powdered sugar.
You're just sitting there with powdered sugar fingers.
It's all up in your beard.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill, you son of a bitch. That's great. Well, I'm glad that you agree with me on the puppy chow because I love that stuff. I can't get enough of it. Like they sell it year round, but like I can't ever buy it, but except for the Super Bowl. That's the only like the one time I can get away with it because I will eat it all. I will buy it and eat the whole thing myself in a night. No problem. So I just choose not to buy it until for the Super Bowl. That's the only time I ever eat it. So it's like my main Super Bowl food that I have to have, the one staple that I have to have.
Yeah, it's good stuff for sure. Like really good.
Well, Draq, now it's time to see what the Patreons came up with. So if you could do the graphic and make the beautiful sound.
Biddly-doo, biddly-doo, biddly-doo.
All right. So we got 3 and maybe we'll have a 4. Maybe Zip will get his list late and we'll have it on the screen, but he missed out. He's probably busy. You know, it's Super Bowl weekend. He's a chef, so
isn't he the chef? Isn't he making like sushi and all this crazy
He's probably busy
stuff?
making stuff. So hopefully his list will come through and we'll have it up here, but and it'll be all some fancy stuff. I'm sure he'll have pinwheel sandwiches on there, Draq. Anyway, let's give this Patreon a rundown. So we'll start with Archbishop's number 5, spinach dip. We didn't say spinach dip, but he specifically said in a sourdough bowl. Draq, I don't know how you feel about sourdough bread, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Now, in a spinach dip, I'll eat it. But the spinach dip is covering up a sourdough bowl.
Yeah, are you really eating the sourdough bowl at the party with your friends?
No,
you're just like,
it's a waste.
Okay, so I'm just going to take half the bowl and I'm going to put that on my plate.
As the rest of the spinach dip rolls on the side of the table.
Yeah, are you really doing that? I don't know. That
what a terrible... I know we're trying to be functional and, it's fancy in the bread bowl. It's like when you get the soup in a bread bowl or the salad in a bread bowl, like you're just eating the bread bowl at the end. Like it doesn't really do anything. So yeah, this is a bad idea.
Soup is a little different because it kind of soaks into the bread bowl.
Sure.
So I get the soup thing, but not the dip. No.
Just get some chips. Speaking of chips, number 4, queso and chips. See, I'm not the only one. The nachos, the chips and cheese. Good job, Archbishops. Number 3, buffalo wings. We didn't even talk about buffalo. I mean,
buffalo is inferior to Parmesan garlic. So
I completely agree. I'm not a huge spice guy, so I much prefer Parmesan garlic. I will eat buffalo wings or buffalo chicken dips or buffalo chicken pizzas. It's fine. It's just not my favorite thing, but it's good. Glad that it was represented on the list. This is one we didn't have either. 7-layer bean dip. I do love me a 7-layer dip. They're just a pain in the ass to make and eat, honestly, because to scoop out on your plate, you have to get all the way down there. So you have to have like a special spatula to even scoop the shit out. You can't just take the top layer because it's all sour cream. And I'm not just eating sour cream and then guac, right?
There are not 7 things that I want in my dip, okay? And almost every 7-layer dip is 50% beans. And I'm not in for that. I just don't want that. So get your 7-layer dip out. It's bottom 5 and move up the dip of awesomeness because that's really what you want in your dip.
That's true. That is true. But very popular amongst Super Bowl parties, so I'm glad it was represented. Last but not least, loaded potato skins. I don't know how this didn't make our list. These are wonderful. I love potato skins, and with the cheese and the bacon and the sausage, whatever you want to put inside them, delicious. I love this number one.
Yeah, it's real good. I think it's top 10, not top 5, though.
Fair.
Yeah.
Plus, they can, this is one of those things that can burn pretty easy. Like, you can mess these up. I've had more burnt loaded potato skins than I've had probably good potato skins.
Because
so
you're not putting them, you're not putting it back. You're just setting it out there and pretending like it didn't happen.
Absolutely.
Like, you're just like,
absolutely.
I don't know, it looked good to me, and you're just crunching into it, and you're like, oh, that tastes like charcoal.
It's like I'm eating a potato chip.
I don't mind it if it tastes like a potato chip. I just don't want it to taste like charcoal.
Yeah, I get that. Definitely not a number one, that's for sure. But glad it was represented. So good job, Archbishops. The sanctity of your top 5. These are all things that, could be on people's top 5 Super Bowl snacks. So this is good. On to Llama.
Oh,
he has.
Interesting.
Are you?
His number 5 is interesting.
Really?
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you surprised that Llama went outside the box and has number 5 as an all meat pizza from Papa John's?
I think that's perfectly within the box.
It's absolutely not. It is absolutely not. This is so far. Actually, he has several that are on this list that are not at all snacks. So we'll just run down this quick. All meat pizza, not a snack. Nachos with lots of toppings, good, always good. Everyone's had nachos except for you, Draq, because you're an idiot.
Hold on, you want your nachos with the toppings already on them, like restaurant style? No,
yeah, I don't mind that.
You have the dip off to the side, and you dip your chips into the nachos.
Either way, it doesn't bother me.
That's Super Bowl style right there.
You're right, but I don't mind this way either. As long as it's nachos and lots of cheese, I'm good. Number 3, Sloppy Joes. That's a main. That's a main dish.
Yeah, that can't make the list.
It's not a slider. It's a full-on sloppy Joe.
Yeah, no. I don't want sloppy Joes at my Super Bowl party either.
Number 2, chicken wings. Yeah, okay.
You
what kind
gotta
of
give me
wings?
A flavor. Are you kidding me?
I thought we were cracking down on these guys about being more specific, but clearly not. Llama, you're just...
This number 1 is killing me.
Who puts a taco salad as their number 1? This is why I can't believe you're justifying Llama's pick of an all-meat pizza to justify your number 3.
Just because he has a bad number 1 doesn't mean his number 5 is
No, that's exactly what it means. That is exactly 100% what this means. Taco salad, sloppy joes, all-meat pizza, not on the list. So really, he's got a top 2. His number 1 being chicken wings of any flavor. And nachos. Oh, Llama. Sweet, sweet, sweet Llama. You know what? I love to give Llama a pass. He chimes in once in a while, and his lists are always like just dunking from the 3-point line. So I love to give Llama a pass.
It must be a French Canadian thing.
You think Llama's French Canadian?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Hopefully we'll find out sooner or later. Not to, dox Llama or anything, but he's French Canadian now. So at least that's in the rewind lore now that the annoying Llama is French Canadian. So
you thought Pantheon lore was hard to track. Rewind lore.
Did we just have a perception ping? Did I just heard a perception ping? Oh, there it is.
I will definitely. No. I'll get the real perception ping in there.
Sounds good. All right, Llama. Your French Canadian list was perfect. This is what Super Bowl parties are in French Canada. Anyway, on to Screech. Chips and salsa, just really boring, but also really good. So I don't know if it's a number 5 though. Like, it's just, there are so many better things that could be.
Why would you go boring chips and salsa when the staple,
the dip of awesomeness,
when you have, or even just nacho cheese?
Yeah.
You can't do that.
I mean, when you mix them together, you then get the dip of awesomeness, right?
I mean, you do. So you could do both.
Yeah. Number 4, pigs in a blanket. This is another thing that probably should have been on a list. I love pigs in a blanket, especially if it's like that. Crescent rolls. Oh, that's the best breading around a little hot
real
dog.
Good. Real good.
And then there was number 3.
Oh,
Draq.
Oh, this hurts my heart. This hurts my heart.
Because we didn't have it listed?
No, because this isn't for Super Bowls.
Who cares? Who cares? Deviled eggs are wonderful.
Just whatever. Just throw it in there.
Sure. What? Deviled eggs for everything.
Deviled eggs.
Hashtag deviled eggs for everything.
No, it's not Super Bowl food.
Oh, come on.
You gotta save it for Thanksgiving.
I don't have to save it for anything. I'll eat it every
specialist.
day.
No, I'm waiting for Thanksgiving because I'm like, oh, deviled eggs are coming up. But if I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to have deviled eggs for 4th of July. I'm going to have deviled eggs for the beginning of the school year. I'm going to have deviled eggs for...
This is where we disagree. Screech
Halloween.
hashtag deviled eggs for everything.
I'm going to give away deviled eggs as Halloween candy this year because
that's a great idea. That's a great idea. You could individually wrap them.
Yes.
You could make gummy deviled eggs.
Gummy deviled eggs. That's what I'm doing. All right. Whatever. You crazy kids.
Hashtag deviled eggs for everything. Number 2, jalapeno poppers. Another staple in Super Bowls. I hate them. I do like the taste of jalapeno. And I also like, what comes in a popper, but it's a little too spicy for me.
You know what I don't like is most of the time those jalapeno poppers, they leave the stem in.
Or the seeds. They don't get all the seeds out.
Yeah, no, get that out. I don't want
Lazy.
that.
They're usually ill-prepared. I completely agree with you, Draq. Last but not least, buffalo wings. Great staple. Not my favorite flavor, but absolutely delicious. Clearly, Screech likes things that are spicy, chips and salsa, jalapeno poppers, buffalo wings. So he just has a flavor for the spice, which is fine.
We like to taste our food, and he doesn't. It's fine.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I like flavor. Screech likes hose water.
Before you leave, we've one final word. Before you've forgotten all that you've heard, there is a moment evergreen. Stay here a while and listen to me.
All right, Dymlos, we've come to that time again. Maybe next week I can upgrade you to version 6.
Ooh, Dymlos 6? That sounds like a great idea.
Like, can it come with, some upgrades? Like, nice personality, gets along with others.
The problem is with Dymlos 6 is that you're going to miss all the things of Dymlos 5, right? Like a real asshole, person that doesn't get along with people. Those are like the personality traits that people like about me. That's why people listen to this show. That's why people are on our Patreon. It's because they want Dymlos 5.0.
I think this is why we only have 6 Patreons.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I think we found the reason.
Well, if you want Dymlos 6.0, then join the Patreon and let me know. That's how we'll know.
Otherwise, I'm upgrading him to Dymlos 6, and you're just going to get nice Dymlos for the rest of the year.
Ugh.